Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video we're going to talk about what time frames you can use to trade supply and demand. Okay, so well this is something that really depends on the trader themselves. Okay, because in the end supply and demand, what is it? Okay, it's just buying at a cheap price and it's selling at an expensive price. Okay, this is the essence of supply and demand. There's nothing more to it. Okay, now how can we decide what is expensive and how can we decide what is cheap? Well, this we can do through the time frame. Okay, so for example, let's go on the monthly. Okay, so you can see we have a supply zone right here. Okay, at the top we have the sell zone, and you can see the price is came into it and is reacting to it and is respecting it. Okay, this might look small, but this is 700 pips. It had a little over 700 pips, 750 almost pip reaction. Okay, so um, basically for supply and demand you can trade any time frame you want because it works obviously on every single time frame. Okay, it does work on every single time frame. The thing is, each time frame just moves a bit differently. One moves faster than the other, one moves slower than the other. Obviously the monthly is going to be super slow, okay, because we're on a monthly chart, so one candle represents 1 month. Okay, if we go on the weekly, okay, it's going to go a bit faster than the monthly. We have this small supply zone right here on the weekly, so each candle would be 1 week, so this would go a bit faster than the monthly. Okay, and then we have the daily as well. We have a daily supply zone up here, which even goes a bit faster than the weekly, obviously, because it's the daily. So these are all supply and demand zones. For example, this one right here is actually a demand zone right here. Okay, that reacted to it here, reacted to it again. So these are all zones and time frames that you can use. Okay, but it really depends on how you want to trade the market. Are you want to swing, or you want a more scalp, or you want very quick gains? We don't actually go lower than 15 minute. These are actually the time frames that we use, but I mean we can take a look at the 1 minute, for example, and definitely we're going to see some supply and demand zones getting respected. So we actually have this one right here, where price came into it, just closed outside, but then had a nice reaction to it. So, and this is even on the 1 minute, guys. So I don't know, I'm not really used to looking at the 1 minute, as this goes a bit too fast for me. um, but yeah, like it works on every single time frame. So we can go on the 5 minute, for example. Okay, and we're gonna probably see some nice examples. As you can see right here, we have a nice supply zone, okay, where price came into it, rejected, and then boom, reacted to it. We have a demand zone right here. Actually, the 5 minute is pretty clean. If we look for the edges, it's pretty clean time frame. So we have this one right here, another demand zone, okay, where price came into it, nice rejection, and boom, shoot up. So yeah, it's just endless opportunities trading supply and demand, and you really have to understand what your time frame is going to be. So what we do is we use both. We swing and we scalp as well. So we would be looking at weekly zones, daily 4 hour, and also some 15-minute stuff. Definitely. So for some quicker gains as well, apart from the swings, so we get some daily or even weekly trades and profits on a consistent basis. So yeah, like I said, supply and demand really, it works on every single time frame. We just have to know which one suits us more. So if you have a full-time job, for example, and you can be looking at the charts the whole time, maybe the 4 hour even is pretty good, or you can even go higher. You can do maybe the daily, for example, and just trade those daily zones. Okay, so you can say, okay, I'm gonna look for those daily levels, and when it's in it, then I'll look for an entry, and then I'll just let it run to the next zone, which could be this one right here. Okay, and then here you could have sold, for example. You could have sold here and maybe it didn't work out. You could have tried the second time, then it worked again to this zone. Maybe second time here you bought again and it's coming back again to this zone, basically this one. So this takes obviously a lot of time because it's the daily. If you don't have a full-time job, you're working part-time or whatever, maybe you can look at the 15-minute, maybe even the 5 minute, wherever you want to. let's say you work in the morning and you can trade in the afternoon. Let's say you can trade New York session, for example, will or the overlap, for example. You can say, okay, I'm just waiting for my zones to get hit. Okay, and if I see any of these zones getting hit during my trade session and I see some rejection that I'm going to enter, I'm just going to trade it. Okay, for example, this New York London overlap would have been nice because you had a nice sell to the bottom and then you had a nice buy here again to this same level. So in this one New York session, or London New York session, you could have made some nice gains on the 5 minutes. So yeah, guys, it really depends on your situation as well, how much time you have to trade, and when you can look at the charts. But like I said, supply and demand works on every single time frame. Okay, it doesn't matter the time frame it is. You can even choose something, I don't know, something random, like I don't know, 3 minutes, which I've never looked at it even in my life. Okay, so you can see right here, there's demand zone, came in, rejection, and shot up. So it works literally on every single time frame, guys. So there's definitely not to worry about the time frame. You don't have to think about it too much. Just pick the one that suits you the most. Okay, depending on your lifestyle basically, and your free hours that you have. This is basically what you have to do. Or if you have time for both, then obviously it would be ideal to swing on like the weekly time frame, and then more intraday trades on the 4 hour or 15 minute or even 5 minute if you want to. So you have a mix of both, and you're making maximum gains possible. So anyways, guys, if you have any more questions about this topic, about supply and demand in general, there's so much stuff we can talk about still, about all things related to supply and demand. So if you have any questions or things that you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments down below. Would really appreciate it, and we can definitely make videos about all those topics that you guys ask us about. So yeah, guys, hope you liked it, and we'll see you in the next video.